Good morning, everyone. I'm back. It's been a while. Life has been lifing, and I wanted to share a couple of updates and talk about how I'm using tarot to process and some major life changes. Let's put it that way. So, just a quick update on life. My father has been going through some significant health problems, and actually he's just kind of gotten a handle on that, and I've been kind of keeping up with taking care of him with the help of my sister and my brother and a caregiver as well, and it's been a lot, but we're hoping for a really good outcome. So I've had my time sort of absorbed there, and then also I had a really lovely connection end where I wasn't prepared for it to end, and there is nothing bad to say about that because it was really, again, really lovely, really healthy. It just didn't work. So I've had to process through that as well, and finally got myself back into therapy because I didn't have the time and I didn't have the capacity, and also my therapist was away, so all of that kind of snowballed, but now I'm back, and I had my first therapy homework in a while, which I really, really like. So we were talking, when I say we, me and my therapist, we're talking about how to prevent myself from relapsing into my anxiety and OCD driven behaviors. So what does that mean? With the stress of everything that's been happening, and I forgot to add, work has been topsy-turvy as well, it felt like an avalanche of shit just happened in like 2 weeks. It really did. And I wasn't sleeping, which never helps for mental health. We worked on preventing a relapse plan. Now, what do I say when I mean, what do I mean when I say relapsing into my anxiety and OCD driven behaviors? Well, there's a bunch. I will have circular thinking, I will have obsessive thinking, and then I will feel compulsions to get reassurance, compulsions to receive validation, and a compulsion to try to make things make sense even when they don't. So, it's a lot of like behaviors like seeking reassurance, seeking validation, going through A to Z in my mind just to find something that makes sense, and then rehashing a story in my mind as well, and then finding different angles, and it's just really exhausting. And I was reminded that I do have tools in my toolbox as far as managing these behaviors. So what I have here is the Burning Tiger Tarot. I am using one of the extra cards in this deck called Life because I thought that it was great as a significator card, like life is lifing. Love, pain, hate, pleasure, life, death. All of this is going on around me and to me and through me. And this is sort of the significator or the center focus of the spread. It's not really a spread, but let's go with that. And then there are 9 areas that help me manage my anxiety and my OCD driven behaviors. So I've put them down on these strips of paper. And then what I did was I pulled a couple of cards for each of them, just going off of what I saw visually in the cards and how they related to these 9 areas. And then I narrowed it down from there. So I might have pulled let me actually go through the areas first. So I have sleep. Sleep hygiene is very important for me to manage anxiety and OCD. I have nutrition. I have movement. Medication is a big one. Socialization. Alone time is also as important to me as socialization. Mental stimulation, so this is tarot, outside of work projects, just doing fun things like puzzles. Fun, I know, I'm a nerd. Time with my cat, and being out in nature or outdoors. So I would pull maybe 5 cards at the most, just looking at the tarot and just sort of going, like I just went through it all. I was like, does this relate to sleep? Just visually, sometimes based on the name of the card, but mostly visually. So I pulled this for alone time, but then I had like a, what do you call it? Where I kind of narrowed stuff down. So this was also alone time. This was movement because the wave and the moving, and this was nutrition because I saw all the cups. This was nutrition also because it looks like jello, and then I was like, that's not nutrition. So that's how I did this exercise, and I want to show you what I came up with for each of these keywords. So I'm gonna push out life here, and actually let me pull that out and try to recenter. I hope that's centered. And then let's go through each of these keywords and the card that I pulled for each. So we have sleep. I pulled the 10 of Swords. Now, this usually would be like, if you read it as just, you know, your normal everyday tarot reading, it would probably be like, okay, 10 of Swords, you're so worried, you feel like you're, you know, hit rock bottom that you can't sleep. But I saw the visual and I thought, I mean, if I have to be pinned down to sleep, I'd welcome that. Like, honestly, I just want to have a better sleeping habit. And there's a lot involved there that I can do. So what I'm gonna do in the next series of videos is maybe do a video for 1 to 2 keywords and pull other cards like as random tarot pulls to help me dive into what I need to deal with in my sleep hygiene. So for the next video, I might shuffle my deck. I might say, okay, what do you want to tell me about my sleep? What's behind the lack of sleep? And I might pull, oh, the judgment card. Maybe I am not, I haven't forgiven myself, or I'm blaming myself for some of the things that happened in the last month, even though I should let that go. So that's kind of how I see that going. So I just want to show you for this video all the cards that I have ended up with. So this represents sleep. It's a 10 of Swords. Nutrition for me will be represented by the 10 of Pentacles. And honestly, I looked at it and I was like, look at all the animals, fish, chicken. So I apologize if there are any vegans, vegetarians watching this, but that to me is nutrition. So that's what I pulled for that. Movement. I love this image where you have the escalator going up, and that is like a forward movement for me, or an upward movement, and this is the Popess, or the High Priestess. So I really love this for movement. Medication is a big one, and this visual, so I'm just noticing now these are kind of like test tube bottles and apothecary glasses, and I didn't pull it for that, but I pulled it for, this is how I feel when I'm on medication. Like, everything is peaceful. I mean, not all the time. Medication just doesn't short circuit all my problems, but it helps me come back to this. And it is possible for me to come back to this when I'm on my medication. And then we have socialization. Ace of Cups. So initially I had chosen like three of Cups, and you know, there's visual of the 3 people enjoying themselves, and that seems very obviously a representation of socialization. But I ultimately ended up with the Ace of Cups because this is how being around friends and people that love me feel like to me. I feel very nourished. I feel like I can be raw. I can be myself. It doesn't feel like a danger zone, and I'm able to give and receive love, which I really appreciate. Then we have, alone time. Now, my therapist did talk to me about this, and I do want to make it clear that, like, there's a time for alone time, there's a time for socialization. It depends on how you use it. If you're using it to run away from something and not come back to it, it's probably not the coping mechanism you want to use in that moment. If you're using it as I just need to distract for a moment, but I know that I will, once I'm recharged, come back to addressing this, then it's a good coping mechanism. So for alone time, I actually had the Two of Swords. Why? Visually, the person is alone in a room, and this Two of Swords doesn't read to me as a negative visualization of the card. And all cards, I believe, have like a positive and a negative, or a medicine in them. So a light and a shadow side. And I'm really seeing the light side here, where this is definitely like a recharge. It's a beautiful room. You know, this could be my cat. It just made me feel like this is the vibe I want when I'm alone. That I'm not motionless, but I'm recharging. Then we have mental stimulation. So for me, this is what I'm doing now. This is a part of my mental stimulation and connecting with people. So I really need that intellectual connection as well. So that's tarot, that's separate projects. Like I want to work on a branding kit. I want to, for my tarot page, I want to learn Marseille. So these are side projects that I'm looking into. And we have the King of Swords. So I chose this card because, again, he's in a room, but it's filled with like paintings and sculpture and jewelry and feathers, and it feels like a slice of heaven, like all these projects that he can't wait to get started on. So this is what represents mental stimulation to me. And then we're getting to the end of it, we have time with my cat. This is really, really important to me. And I chose this for obvious reasons. It was the only card that I could find with cats on it. Also, the Four of Pentacles for me has always been about boundaries, like boundaries on my energy. And my cat is a prime example of boundaries. Like, she is very much like, nope, I am not in the mood to cuddle today, bye. Or, now I would like some attention, please. And I really aspire to be like her in her ability to authentically show up as herself each and every day. And then finally, we have being in nature or in the outdoors, and I chose the Seven of Pentacles because I love being in nature and in the outdoors, and this was kind of more contemplative, and it feels like they're in this beautiful, lush garden, and they're being recharged. And that's what I want when I go outside of my apartment and outside of the big bustling city. So that is actually how I am planning on working with this preventing relapses plan and with the tarot. And it was also an idea that my therapist actually gave me, where she was like, could you pull cards around this plan? And I thought, yes, I absolutely can. So I'll be doing readings again on maybe 1 to 2 cards at a time. And then let's explore, let's see how this goes. So if you're interested in that, using tarot to connect to other work that you've been doing, healing work, inner work, therapy, I'm certainly not an expert, but I try to use tarot in many different ways. And if this gives you an idea of how to use it, or if you want to also do your own sort of keywords, or what helps you stay centered, stay grounded, and do this with another deck, please do. Maybe I'll put a tag on this. I'm not sure. We'll think about it. Let's see. Anyway, thank you for joining me as always, and take care. Bye.